Hi, and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we have a 2001 Toyota Corolla. The problem we have is that the customer got in the car, turned the steering wheel, and there was no power steering whatsoever. Checked the fluid level. The fluid level is a little bit low, so we added some fluid to it. Same exact thing, still no power steering. So we lifted up, we looked at it. There was a slight leak coming from one of the ends of the rack and pinion. There was a slight leak coming from the end of the rack and pinion, so what I decided to do is to replace the rack and pinion and the power steering itself. And being that the power steering had failed, we have no power steering whatsoever, but we're going to change the power steering pump at the same time. So we changed the pump because it was not pumping fluid, and we're changing the rack and pinion because it was leaking fluid from the end of the by the tie rod, the inner tie rod. So we're going to go ahead and replace the rack and pinion. So we do. We go ahead and change the rack and pinion, put the whole thing back together, and start the vehicle up, purge all the air out of it, fill it up with fluid. Now the steering is nice and free. It turns nice and free, but we have a constant buzzing noise whenever you turn the steering wheel. Even in the straight ahead position, you have a buzzing noise. So you turn the wheel and it just buzzes like crazy. In the morning, it's absolutely horrible. So we assumed that it was going to be air blocked, or there was an air pocket inside here, so we tried to just bleed it out, and it didn't seem to do any good. So what we elected to do is to go ahead and replace the power steering pump, because the pump itself must be the issue, right? No. Put a new power steering pump on, start the whole thing up, go through the whole procedure again, purge all the air out of it, get everything done, get all the air out of it, fill the fluid up to the top, drive the vehicle, the power steering works perfectly, but we still have that buzzing noise in there. And I just want to show you what the buzzing noise was all about. In the top of the reservoir, the buzzing noise, as I find out later on, and I've never run into this problem before, I might add, the buzzing noise was actually in the top of the power steering reservoir, which is mounted up on the fender over here. It's external, away from the pump itself. Inside the reservoir itself, when you turn the wheel, the fluid looks like it's aerated. And I'm thinking, how can that possibly be? I look on the computer, it says nothing about a screen or a filter or anything like that inside there. So I decided to take the reservoir off the car. Take the reservoir off, sure enough, flip it upside down, look down into the bottom hose, which is a good, probably 3/4 of an inch hose that fits on there, so that the fluid can actually flow pretty decent. There's a screen in the bottom of it. So what I did is I ran it through my parts cleaning tank, cleaned the whole thing out, let it sit for a while, cleaned the screen all thoroughly out, put it all back together, started up, absolutely perfect. No buzzing, no squeaking. The fluid now, instead of being aerated, it's nice and clean the way it's supposed to be. I've never run into it before. Maybe some of you guys already have, but I haven't. I've seen nothing in the computer about it, and no TSVs or anything on that screen becoming clogged and causing the pump to stall for fuel. I mean for fluid, which now, after the fact, makes sense to me that the pump burned up because the screen was clogged up. The pump was calling for fluid, couldn't pull it through the screen, and therefore burnt up the original pump that was on the vehicle. So anybody who's run into that, drop me a line. We're more than happy to hear if anybody else has run into this before. And that's it. Let me just show you where the screen is mounted, and we're going to get this job out the door, and hopefully it'll slow it down a little bit when I can put a couple more videos up and get back into the swing of things. All right, let me show you where it's mounted. The screen itself is actually down underneath in here. Right inside here, this is the hose that leads down to the power steering pump, which is down in the back over in here. And down underneath here, in here, is where the screen itself was. So what I did is I cleaned the screen out, put all the fluid back in, started up, and it's absolutely perfect. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Any questions, any comments, you want to talk about this, drop me a line. Be more than happy to talk to you about anything. And as always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.